To round off the last where we talked about understanding programming. Now, I mentioned the fact that programming is basically a way of giving instructions to your computer, usually so that the computer can do something for you. Now, you said there could be instruction given could come in you could be writing instructions to make it do stuff. Where we talk, so we also talked about development, just programming, coding, and all such you need to understand about what. When I even say I am programming, I'm coding. What does it even refer to? So now, having understood that, we'll be taking it a little bit further today. Now, what can I do with programming or coding? What exactly do I use coding for? What exactly do I can I code with, or do I code, or what can I do with coding? Okay, now I want to learn coding, but what are the things I could do with coding? Now, so we'll be talking about that briefly for the next few minutes. Things you could do with coding. All right, I prepared a slide that would help us understand what can I do with coding or programming. Now I gave a list here, and the first in the list is web development, software development, data science or data analytics, database administration and management, ethical hacking and cybersecurity, system automation, web scraping. Now, all these things may sound what are they? What are they? They are very simple stuff. I think I explained a little bit of development in the last class. So we'll move on to understanding what these other things are. I made a slide to discuss them extensively. And starting with development, I said that web development is the work involved in developing a website for the internet, that's the World Wide Web, or an intranet, that's a private network. Now, web development can range from developing a simple single static page of plain text to complex web applications, electronic businesses, and social network services. Now you all break your browser and you do facebook.com, google.com. Those are websites. Now, usually websites, one way we know websites are they end with .com, .net, .something. Those are those could go beyond. It could go into a service or a solution. For example, when we say jumia.com.ng, com or Amazon dot whatever. They are solutions because they've gone beyond just a website or web application. They are solutions, business solutions. We could have them in so many forms like that. Facebook.com. Facebook.com is not just a website. It's already a solution of social media service. So it's web development could reach all through all those. All right. So it could even be a static single page like a profile, like your CV profile, something like that, to learn about me. So I have a profile just about me, just a single page about me. So it could be as little as that and it could go complex. The more comprehensive list of tasks to which web development commonly refers to may include web engineering, web design. This is a popular word, web design. Are you a web designer? I'm looking for a web designer. I'm a web designer. So web design is a common language used. Web content development, client licensing, all these are just web server, network security configuration, and e-commerce development. Those are just if you want to make it advanced. Now, what are the language needed? Languages needed. You need HTML, you need CSS, you need Java, Python, SQL, PHP, .NET, and Angular. And you'll be wondering that what are these applications now? I'm supposed to talk about them extensively, but maybe some other time I'll do that. Now, HTML quickly is a structural language for the design of a web page. Let's assume I open a page and it's seen on the screen right now. Now, basically, this structure would have been designed with HTML. The text, the shapes you see would have been designed with HTML. Now, what CSS will now do is what color it. CSS will help you to add colors, uh, to the design, to the already designed structure. Now, while Java, just like some other high-level language, basically helps you run services or do some high-level stuffs on the website. JavaScript, I do call it the functionality of language of a website or a web, whatever. Now, JavaScript basically is just like molding a bed with clay, HTML, painting the bed, CSS. Now, making the bird to fly, if a bird made out of clay can fly, that would have been a job of JavaScript. And Python, just like Java, basically do some back end work. I mentioned the last time that we have front end development, back end. Front end basically sees to creating what you see, while back end sees to creating the logic behind it. Then PHP, server side language that helps you run it on server and do an interconnection between all the systems that will be connecting to the website. Now, .NET and Angular, those are a number of languages that you will need for development. So, are you considering you want to be a web developer? You want to create something like Facebook? You want to create something service, a blog? It's a common one, a blog, uh, and all those stuffs. They are an e-commerce website. You want to create something where somebody can buy and sell, like Gigi, GearBest, all those stuffs. Those are e-commerce websites. So all this will be needed to creating one or two of them will be creating those uh, startup of websites. Now, something I forgot to add there is what we call WordPress. WordPress is a no code tool that helps you develop websites. You really don't code, you are really not coding, but you develop a website. Okay, next is software development. Now, software development. Now, I remember in the last class we talked about development and programming and coding. Why I said programming is more of the process, the logic, the styles, the rules behind it. Why coding basically is just putting all your together to get a code. Now, so software is a process of conceiving, specifying, designing, programming, documenting, testing, and bug fixing involved in creating and maintaining applications, frameworks, other software components. So you see, you go to Google Play and download software. Those things you download from Google Play. Now, some of them may have a web version where you can go to Chrome and to Facebook.com, and you can also go to Google Play and download Facebook. Now, the Facebook on your browser is a a web application, while the one you download from Google Play is or App Store is a software application. So these are just basically the difference. And although of software, because of the fact that some of them you can use them offline, the scope may be larger. You can't do anything website or web app offline. You must be connected with the internet. But there are web apps there are software apps that you can use offline. Like your calculator is an application. You can use it offline. Some special calculators, I don't know. Software development is the process of writing and maintaining the source code, but in a broader sense, it includes all that is involved between conception of the desired software through to the final manifestation of the software. Now, those are just giving you professional clues onto what software developers do. So, we say software development may include research, new development, prototyping, modification, blah blah blah. So basically, I've talked about software development. So basically, what software development refers to is creating that are run on a mobile phone, whatever, maybe a cross-platform, Android, iOS, just as a mobile phone, even a software, a system, a PC, Android, Windows, Mac OS, or whatever. As long as it can run on a device, that's a software. Unlike web applications or webs where you need to connect to a browser for software applications, you connect to a browser, you find with just go click on it. It opens. If it's offline, it works. If it's online, you might need the internet there. Now the next is data science and analytics. Now data science is primarily focused on understanding data sets and gleaning insights that can be turned into actions. Now you have some set of data you need basically to analyze, get informations, um, uh, it's just analysis, get information that are useful. Now that would have been the job of a data analyst or data analytics. Why data science is centered on building, cleaning, and data sets. So I'll be working around. Uh, Give me a data set the students in a school. So cleaning and organizing, building, adding, inputting data, removing data. Say I want to remove data of students that have left the school, add data of new students, and that will be the more of data science. Now language is needed. Many times for data science you will need language, while data analytics you may just need some tools. Now it will include Python, JavaScript, Scala, Ruby, Java, SQL. Now, some of the tools you need is your Microsoft Excel and Tableau. Now, so basically, you working with data, improving on data, adding, cleaning, removing, and then visualizing those data. So imagine you give me data of students in a school. I want to show you, I want to visualize the students in the school and some informations I've been able to gather about them. That will be the job of data analytics. So, pending. Now, ethical hacking. I'm sure many people will get interested in this. I want to be an hacker. You want to hack a bank, withdraw 10 million or 10 billion into your bank account. Well, we have just hackers and we have ethical hackers. Now, ethical hackers follow the law. They are, you look at it, say ethical hackers involve an authorized attempt, unauthorized access to a computer system, application, or data. So I could be accessing, yes, you want to say a bank, getting an unauthorized access into a bank in an authorized manner. So the law can come after me as an ethical hacker. Well, uh, limited to the fact that ethical. So an ethical hacker carry out ethical carry okay, ethical hacking involve an authorized attempt to gain authorized access to a computer system. Application of data. Carrying out an ethical act involves duplicating strategies and actions of malicious hacker. So you'll be doing things similar to a malicious hacker. Now this practice helps to identify security vulnerabilities which can then be resolved before a malicious attacker has the opportunity to exploit them. So they look for weaknesses in your system, in your applications, and probably provide solution before a malicious hacker gets to know about it. So if you are thinking of hacking a bank, I would suggest something else to do. Or thinking you start programming, you'll be able to hack a bank. Yeah. It's not, it doesn't do good. I mean, so language you'll be needing Python, PHP, Java, and so on. And all these are because most of this language are used to build almost everything you use in a bank. From their all the softwares the bank use, the solutions are all built around these languages. And if it is so, these languages will also be able to help to detect weaknesses in them. So I think these are basically all I talked about ethical the software and what you can do with programming. Although, like you see in the beginning, I mentioned a few other. I mentioned like the beginning, I mentioned database administration. This basically has to do with getting your database. For example, everybody that logs into Facebook has a record. I sign up with Facebook, my username, number, password is all recorded in somewhere. So that place that is kept is called the database. And we need a database administrator or manager to sit with them. Then I talked about system automation. Now I'm sure you would have gone or seen some movies or factories where robot moves without being told what to do. And usually in those type of systems or machine that goes that way, automated. Now, so this also could is a job of a programmer and the programmer could do it. Now, web scraping. Web scraping basically involves getting information from the website from a website stored in a readable format. For example, I want to pick a weather forecast, a website, and I want to pick all the about the next week weather. So I could be scrapping the web for those information and storing them in a readable format. Alright, so go back to the last thing we were to talk about programming language. I'm sure you're expecting me to talk about each of them. Maybe some other times I will talk about each of those programming language. But here we have Java, very popular programming language for software development, most especially. So there's almost so many software you see might be developed by Java. Then you have Python, very popular development. Now one common software working on Python is your popular Instagram, and for those who know, Pinterest works on Python. We have C Sharp. Almost every banking application work on these three language: C Sharp, C++, or C. So they work around this. Then we have the JavaScript, PHP, Ruby, under high-level programming language. It's also simple. SQL is a data language, a database kind of language, and it stores data information. Basic, also another simple high-level programming language. MATLAB. Now, one popular common use of MATLAB is for mathematical calculation. Almost every engineering student might have heard of MATLAB at one point or the other. Scala, Pascal, and for web design, popular HTML and CSS. Well, this HTML and CSS, I don't even know them a language, but we still call them their main language. So all these are basic programming language you might want to be looking out for. So if you are interested, you could check out them online, and I will be teaching Python, HTML, and so amount CSS and some amount of JavaScript in time to come. We'll stop here for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you've gotten insight on what these things are, and definitely which of them you could want to pick interest in. Now, another thing is that even if you are not going to be any of these things, programming language is something you could learn and understand to ensure that you have knowledge of changing the changing world, because the world is digital, and you might be lucky if you have this programming language knowledge as you go. Well, this ends the class for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, subscribe. If you haven't, share the link to people to come and watch. Invite friends. Like the video. Thank you very much. And also, I'll be dropping the link to my Python training class. If you want to join the Python class, click on the link, register, reach out to me, and we'll discuss how you get your class. The class is intended to be a one-on-one physical class, but if for those who are outside my area of state of domicile, an online one-on-one online class would be done. Well, thank you very much for staying with me today. Once again, my name is Oluwaseun. Have a nice day.